The game's to be sold, not told. So we finna keep everybody broke. They say time is money. They say money talk. I ain't got no time to waste if you ain't got no time. Out and about, out chasing paper. The streets of my house and the house always wins like Vegas. Never down for the count. Second win, second nature. Found mine. Never had my hands out. Fuck favors. By design, everything tailored. In my youth, it was shell toes, no Chuck Taylors. We choke game, how to have a game so it's still the same code game, so it's still the same code. We all pay the cost, I mean pay dues. Move with the mind state that I can't lose. On the grind, push a hard line with my linemen. Back when I was young, they said it's all about timing. Feel it's my time, all the stars are aligning. I'm a diamond in the rough, couple cuts got me shining. This game you cannot cop on consignment. In the field, all we do is execute assignments. The game's to be sold, not told. So we finna keep everybody broke. They say time is money, they say money talk. I ain't got no time to waste if you ain't got no time to talk. The game to be sold, not told. So we finna keep everybody broke. They say time is money, they say money talk. I ain't got no time to waste if you ain't got no time to talk.
First, we get into this paper. See, I want it all, plus a mule and 8 acres. A lot of alcohol, few dad bags of paper. Run this shit like a ship and I'm the sailor. Cold, kinda like it's fresh up out the freezer. Cold, if she ain't talking bread, I don't need her. Soon as I meet her, I'm a fucker, then I leave her. It's the old Mac knees, treat them all like bottom feeders. Break it down slow for them folks that don't know. I'm a seasoned vet, black belt out the dojo. With a wide range of weapons, so I'm out the holster. Keeping all options open, so many ways that I can fold ya. Told you from the gate, never been about no play. Get it on the go, they never been known for no delay. The game should be sold, not to be told. Keep your mouth shut, don't have to break the mold. Mac knees.
Break the work down, it's fence the move. Push that work out, I distribute. Break the work down, it's fence the move. Push that work out, I just distribute. A young pack mover, shot to my consumer. Jumping out the foreign or I'm hopping out the Uber. Crew clocking chips opposite of you losers. Can't be broke as a joker, got no sense of humor. Just a young pack mover, shot to my consumer. Jumping out the foreign or I'm hopping out the Uber. Crew clocking chips opposite of you losers. Can't be broke as a joker, got no sense of humor.
I'm a D-boy, need abusive as users. I'm a D-boy, need abusive as users. I'm a D-boy, need abusive as users. You know I'm the boy, get money's what I'm used to.
Keep it straight from the gate, so I don't confuse ya. I'm a D-boy, need abusive as users. I'ma make noise, shout to my producer. I'm an entertainer, but I ain't here to amuse ya. Yeah, fuck with shooters and they all fucking users. Come through and wake that ass up like a rooster, hella early in the morning. Early bird gets a worm. Finna get rich for 'em, food for the worms. Cutting cocaine, dumping whole things. It's a cold game, make you run your gold chain. Hungry, but I'm moving in a keto state. For sure, I beat the price on the keys in your state. Catch me running up a tail, fucking up a bag. Make me wonder how long will a good thing last. On my Curtis Mayfield, live a life I can't chill. Push a man, pushing packs, all I do is make squeal. Keep it 100, I'm just numb, yo, I can't feel none of these suckers when they say they real. Stacking Uber cash, I'm an out-of-state supply. Random Uber man, he'll get away drive. Just a young pack mover, shot to my consumer. Jumping out the foreign or I'm hopping out the Uber. Crew clocking chips opposite of you losers. Can't be broke as a joker, got no sense of humor. Just a young pack mover, shot to my consumer. Jumping out.
What is up? Would you stop with the Green Bay? What is good, everybody? Another week in the books. Going into
Another
week
Packer.
4
Who knew?
of the fantasy season. Packers still suck, but
What up,
Hammer?
Ain't shit, man. Just I almost had a meltdown because I saw that the Packers were down 17-0, and I was like, "Yep, this is a wrap." Jordan Love struggling against a decent defense, and then he surprised me in the fourth quarter. Say what you want, it was a good Saints defense. Derek Carr is not that good to begin with, and he only accounted for 1 touchdown, I believe. So hell of a comeback by Jordan Love. He actually showed me some things, so it was a positive weekend for them on that front. My fantasy team stink. I did get a win in the subscriber league, which was a positive development. But overall, I am 4-8 across 4 leagues. But I was right about Sam Laporta, so I'm happy about that.
What's good, everybody in the chat? Marty, what up? Crispy, Ace, what's good, you guys? Emil, what's good, Emil? Who can I package with Garrett Wilson to get a Waddle? I mean, I don't know who else is on your squad. And who, what does that team look like that has Waddle? What do they need, right? We always talk about, making trades and what that other team needs in order to make a trade. So where is that team struggling? Are they struggling at wide receiver? They're struggling at running back. Do you have a tight end maybe you can give them? So all of that kind of depends. I don't know who's on your team, so it's hard for me to just throw names out there, but put on throw in the chat who's on the team, and maybe I'll give you some suggestions there. Ayaz, what up? How you doing, man? Appreciate you for tuning in.
So I know Steve is the star of the show. I'm just riding the coattails, but I kind of bring my little spice to it. So Ayaz, I know it's Stevie's show, but I like to be loved in a little bit every now and then. Just saying.
Oh my God. Hustling Bruce. What's up, Bruce? Just got a trade offer. I give up Jalen Hurts and Pierce. I get Fields and Josh Jacobs. 16-man, 1 PPR. Okay. Thank you in advance. Appreciate you, Bruce. All right. So we're giving up Hurts and Pierce. We're getting Fields and Jacobs. What are we doing, Hammer?
No, I'm not doing this. I'm staying on the Hurt. I'm keeping Hurts. No, thank you. I want no part of Justin Fields right now. I know Justin Fields has some upside, and taking my Packer fandom out of it, I could look at it objectively. I'm not feeling Justin Fields. I think there's a lot happening there, and his confidence has got to be super, super low. Like, that whole offense doesn't look good, and there's just it feels like there's almost a black cloud over that franchise. I don't know what it is. I can't really explain it. A lot of people were high on the Bears because they picked up DJ Moore. They moved off the first overall pick. So a lot of people really, really high on Justin Fields. And it just seems like there's a very large disconnect between that quarterback and that coaching staff. So I think Jalen Hurts hasn't played his best football, and he's still pretty damn good. So I think there's better football to come from Jalen Hurts and company. I'll take the hit on Dameon Pierce to take Hurts over Fields.
Yeah, I mean, if Fields, it's a good, if you believe in Fields, it's definitely a good buy low opportunity if you believe in him. I'm not saying that I do, but
not at the price of Jalen Hurts.
To be fair, we did see last season the first 4 or 5 games that Fields was just absolute trash before he really started to do his thing.
And the games didn't mean much. Like, that doesn't.
It's not going to mean much now too, because it's still going to suck.
I get it.
It's still going to be down.
But
I'm not saying I believe in him. I'm just saying that if you do, I guess you could say it's a good buy low opportunity. But 100%, we're not going from Hurts to Fields. I mean, Josh Jacobs hasn't done jack shit really anyway, so you might as well hold on to Pierce and Hurts.
And Hurts is going to make up some of that rushing upside, right? He's scoring a rushing touchdown. It feels like almost every single game. So you're making up that production when Justin Fields, and Justin, in his defense, to a small portion, he has played some really pretty good teams, right? They played Kansas City. They played Green Bay. I forgot that second game. What was that second game they lost? I forgot to who it was. So they've encountered some tough opposition, but it just doesn't look right. I'm keeping Jalen Hurts there.
Yeah, definitely. What up, Steven or Stefan? Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Full PPR draft format. Should I start Judy, Hollywood, or Slant Boy?
Ooh.
So we've got Judy against.
He had
the
a
Lakers,
decent,
and that
he had
defense sucks.
yeah. And Judy was, to be honest, the stat line was a little misleading for Jerry Judy because he wasn't doing a whole lot early on in that game. He kind of got loose a little bit at the end when the game was well out of hand. And I know it all counts the same, but Cortland Sutton seems to be getting the majority of those targets. Like Cortland Sutton is all over the place right now. I do think Jerry Judy will have a solid season. But I'm a little bit worried just about his target share and how he's flowing in that offense. He did get 7 targets, hauled in 5 of them on 76% snaps. So that's tough. Hollywood has been a relatively good surprise. I think he provides the safest floor here.
They are going against the 49ers, but we know that, secondary could be, had a little bit. Right.
And Arizona
go off, obviously, but
and Arizona showed that when they play a tough team, they beat Dallas with that front, and it kind of exposed their secondary a little bit as well. So I think I have to go Hollywood here just because of the uncertainty with Jerry Judy and that target share.
Yeah, I'll go Hollywood to be safe, and then if you want to get spicy, if you need some upside, maybe you could roll with Judy, but I'm not playing Slant Boy. I don't think he's been decently solid too. He hasn't been bad, but
there's very little upside. I feel like with him.
Nah, no love for the Kev. That's right. What up, Kev?
Hey, listen, I'm just gonna spread love. No pun intended. I'm just trying to spread
70
love.
burger for the fucking Dolphins, which was
ridiculous. So really quick, I got burned by A-Chain and Raheem Mostert all over me this weekend. Two guys had Mostert against me, and a third team had A-Chain on me. It was just I was just flabbergasted.
I had to go against Mostert as well. I couldn't survive that battle, but I did survive a Keenan Allen, Brock Purdy CMC ordeal
with Zach Moss, right? Zach Moss
and Zach Moss, which was a big deal. So I was able to survive that and withstand that with Chase last night. But yeah, man, it's been rough. Hot or cold on Kyren Williams?
I would say hot here just because I like his level of productivity in that offense. He's heavily involved. Like he's a big part of what they're going to do. And there's really nobody else to threaten his role in that offense. Kyren Williams is damn good. And I think he's a high-end RB2 with low-end RB1 upside with his role in that Rams offense.
Yeah, I mean, only 10 carries last game. Didn't do a ton, but he was still decent enough. I mean, after the first 2 games, I mean, he was RB2. So, I mean, he's going to get the carries. Keep a lookout for Zach Evans. He hasn't been active yet, but I think that as the season goes on, they're going to call him up. So, Crispy said he loves you, bro. He loves you. We all love you, Hammer.
I appreciate that.
Huss in the building. What up, Huss? I said drop Gus Edwards as his ceiling isn't as high as anticipated, and Ravens involving many backs. I mean,
it really depends,
options, right?
Right. What are your options? Who are you trying to pick up? Do you have somebody maybe coming off IR at some point? Maybe a Deontay Johnson. I know Cooper Kupp is coming up pretty soon. So it really depends on what the other options are. I think, Steve, one thing that you said, and I'm going to keep saying this as the season goes along, but one of your things, particularly in the offseason, was hold on to these running backs because you're 1 or 2 injuries away from having found gold. Like, it's just that simple. So
we saw it already with Ford. I just put a video out today of who could be the next Jerome Ford. So if you didn't see that, make sure you go check out the page. That's one of the videos I put out this morning. Because who's the next one?
Also, too, really quick on Jerome Ford, I feel like I was right and wrong at the same time on Jerome Ford.
Oh yeah,
his yardage,
except for tutties,
and he hit pay dirt 2, not 1, 2. So I was on Jerome Ford this week. Not because of the yardage, I just liked his volume and his similar to Kyren, he's going to be heavily involved. So, and that Browns offense kind of took a little bit of a step up. Amari Cooper was really good. Ford had the 2 touchdowns against a tough Tennessee team. So maybe the Cleveland Browns offense is kind of turning the corner from a passing game standpoint.
Mostert, Madison, Pierce, or should I pick up a guy like A-Chain or Moss?
Mostert is a lineup lock at this point. Like, there's no reason to start any of these guys, even A-Chain. I don't care what he did last week. I do care, but just to put it in its proper perspective, because he pissed me off. One of our league mates dropped or had to make an emergency pickup off the waiver wire because Aaron Jones didn't play. He plays A-Chain. A-Chain scores 59 points in our particular league. So I think you're good with Mostert. I wouldn't mind coming off Madison or Pierce for A-Chain or Moss. So those are kind of interchangeable pieces, whichever one. Probably lean more Zach Moss, but listen, A-Chain was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, Moss is tough because what happens when like JT comes back, if he even comes back, right? What if he doesn't? So, I'm okay with dropping Pierce for either of those guys right now.
Agreed.
Addison, I mean, that could be a tough one too, because A-Chain, I don't think not a lot of people played A-Chain last week, right? He couldn't see the field, unless Wilson, who was injured, has been on IR, and Ahmed was actually injured as well. So that's why A-Chain got in there and got the start. Now it's going to be hard to take A-Chain off the field almost. So I feel like he's definitely going to be of Ahmed now. But what happens when Wilson comes back? Is it still going to be this 3-headed monster? Or is it just going to be this RB committee? Regardless, it's an RB committee, right? A-Chain's not going to go off for a lot like that every single game, right? He's awesome. All he needs is a few touches, which is the good thing about it. That's not going to happen every week. But I would love to have A-Chain instead of Pierce right now for sure. And I'd like to have Moss over Pierce. So if you have to pick one, I guess A-Chain, because I feel like for the rest of the season, like he'll be safer because I don't know what happens if JT comes back. But can you drop someone else? Like, can you drop Pierce and someone else on your squad maybe? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. A-Chain or Moss. If you could get them both, great. I wouldn't mind that because, listen, there's you're one injury away from Mostert from A-Chain stepping into a massive role. So, you get your handcuff there. And then, like you said, Zach Moss is available. And we don't know what's going to happen with JT. We just don't know. Is he going to get traded? Is he going to play a couple of games and then be out down the stretch of the season? So I think I like both of these guys if you can grab them.
Yeah, for sure. Saif, team is Kirk Cousins, Bijan, Gibbs, AJ Brown, Godwin, Goddard, Stevenson, benches JSN, Laporta, Sutton, Kirk, Hunt, Dell, Jordan Love, one flex, full PPR, 0-3, and need help. Any trades? Starting Laporta. Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
You can start Laporta.
So I just made a trade in our subscriber league. I traded Dallas Goedert for Jimmy Garoppolo to Superflex Dynasty. I traded Dallas Goedert for Jimmy Garoppolo and Michael Mayer, and Sam Laporta is in my starting lineup. Like, I was able to convert a piece that I didn't need because Sam Laporta has been fantastic, and I think Sam Laporta is going to be top 5 tight end this year. I truly believe that. So start Sam Laporta, see if you can move off of Dallas Goedert. He still has some value as a tight end in a very shallow position. Kirk Cousins, Bijan, Gibbs, AJ Brown, Godwin.
You got too many pieces on the bench that you can actually play, like Sutton, Kirk, and Dell. So
Dell,
you definitely got to combine some of these pieces to try and
Dell and Godwin
try and tear up. So
Dell and Godwin would be the hot piece to move. Tank Dell has been fantastic. You could even play Tank Dell, but I would prefer to move Tank Dell and combine him with maybe a Godwin or a Sutton. Maybe combine Dell and Sutton, and like you said, try and tear up as well. I believe. What did Christian Kirk do last week? Did he have a big game?
I even might like to keep Dell. Can you do Godwin, Sutton, Kirk? I mean, it doesn't have to be all 3 of those guys, but a combination of any of those 2 guys. I would probably look to move. If you can hold Dell, then hold him. If you have to give him up, then depending on who you can get, then I'd give him up. But, shop around, see who needs some extra wide receivers maybe because you have some extra wide receivers to give. Maybe even RB, maybe you shop around Stevenson too. I don't know. But yeah, take a look at some of the teams, who's hurting and how can you help them, and then go after some of the guys that they have. The Doe rate trade, Henry, London, and Mandrews for Etienne, Olave, and Laporta. Yeah, I love it. That's a
3
dub.
for 3. That's
It's a dub for me.
ETN. So he's on the ETN side, right? Receiving.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing.
ETN, Laporta, and Olave. I think I like that a lot more.
Exactly. Give me that. Good shit, though. Some good stuff. There's Nunez. So what you think about Roshan then? Been holding on the bench. Yeah, I'm holding him on the bench too in a few leagues. I think he led the team in carries last game. Might look that up real quick.
8 for 38. That was a tough game script for him to be super effective.
And he still led the team in carries.
That offense, there's not a lot going around in that offense right now. So definitely be patient with him. I think there is some value. There is some upside. It's just tough right now. That entire Bears offense is doing squat. Fucking DJ Moore got a touchdown.
For sure. Yeah, you just got to kind of hold him for now. If you have to plug him in a bye week or injury, then fine. But yeah, I'm holding him for now because I think as the season goes on, he's going to start to get more work. Marty, what's good, Marty? Peacock in the building, what's goody? Bogey.
There he is.
Ace said he started Mostert, Keenan Allen, and Laporta and lost because of Ridley. I think he could have had another touchdown if I'm not mistaken. There was a close one. Same thing the game before that too. Could have had a tutty or two, but hasn't been clicking. Still getting the targets, but that whole offense has kind of been like, what the fuck the last couple.
That game, outside of the Dallas Arizona game, I think that was the most surprising. Right, that Houston Jacksonville game. I expected the score to be reversed. I thought Jacksonville was going to win 31-17, something like that. But yeah, be patient with Ridley. He's awesome. They'll figure it out. Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback, so just be patient with Ridley. But that's a tough beat.
Joshua Kelly's a bust. I know. If you follow me on Instagram, I'll probably post it on YouTube too, as a short. But I kind of went in on Kelly a little bit. So
did you really? Tell us how you really feel.
Mm-hmm.
So
maybe I could pull it up. Hold on.
So for full disclosure, before you pull it up,
I don't know if y'all. Yeah, hopefully y'all be able to hear it. Go ahead.
So Steve sends me the original video, and he's like, "What do you think?" I listened to it, and I text him back. I said, "Bro, you got to take it from rated R. You got to go to PG-13. That thing was F-bomb laced about Joshua Kelly." It was probably the most entertaining thing I've seen in some time. Entertaining would be an understatement, but yeah, Josh Kelly, no bueno, bueno at all. Throw AJ Dillon in that same kind of breath where Aaron Jones is out, and you kind of expect AJ Dillon to at least hold his own, and it's been disappointing.
He was always trash. Kelly was always trash. I don't know why we thought any different. But
well, I guess that first game,
or at least me, but.
Here it goes.
Right, hopefully y'all can hear it. Hold on. All right, here we go. You're better off getting rid of something. All right, ready? Oh, we got to light up for this shit. I would like to publicly apologize for the bum-assness of Joshua Kelly. We should have knew. I am sorry for everybody I told to play Joshua Kelly, including myself, 2 weeks in a row. We should have known. Can never make himself part of this great offense. And now all of a sudden this year, we thought it was different. He had one good game. We gave him the benefit of the doubt for the Tennessee game, 13 for 39 for 3 yards a carry. But then you play the shitty Minnesota defense, 11 attempts for 12 yards, 1.09 per carry. I'm done with Joshua Kelly. Do not play Joshua Kelly. Do it at your own risk because I'm not going to tell you to do it. I'm done. I'm sorry, Joshua. I'm not trying to come at you personally. This is only fantasy football related. So I do apologize, but you single-handedly costed me, and I'm not rocking with that. But that's on me. Knew this dude was a bum, man. Fuck. Oh, we got.
The ending was so beautiful. That is a work of art. That belongs in the Sistine Chapel. That was a work of absolute art. Man, that was gold. That was gold.
Ace said Evans, Ridley, or Waddle. I mean, any of those guys, really. Any of those. I probably prefer Ridley or Waddle over Evans, but I don't know. That's just me. I know Evans has been on fire, so it's hard to deny that.
Yes,
so
he
whoever
has.
you like better and whoever will actually make the trade.
Mike
If you had to
Evans,
pick one, who would you like?
3 straight games with a touchdown. He is currently number 5 in half PPR. That guy is balling right now. But yeah, give me Jalen Waddle here just because the explosiveness of the Miami offense. He's a big part of it. He will continue to be a big part of it, even though he was out last week. Give me Waddle. I think he'll just have more opportunities to be explosive.
Yeah. Crispy said, "Damn."
Crispy, that was the ending was just absolute gold. And you know what I love about that video a little bit too? You went from being upset.
I have to apologize to him at the end.
You went from being really upset, and then you got calm at the end, and then it was like, fuck. And that was just the cherry on top. That was well done by you. Well done.
The dough said dropped him after he sucked week 2. Yeah. Probably should have, but no. I mean, he's not. I don't think he's droppable, but hopefully when Eckler comes back, maybe he can do a little something, but I'm not counting on it. Fuck him. Stroud, just a good week or real talent in your opinion? I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. They've been down. They have to throw a lot. I mean, he's got some good young wide receivers. And it's just I think we talked about it the other day. It's just a way better situation than it is on the Panthers for Bryce Young. And we thought it was going to be the opposite, but it actually is not. I mean, the Texans are putting some guys around him that can play. So yeah, I mean, he's good. I mean, what we thought of Stroud is true. He's going to be good.
Yeah, I actually liked CJ Stroud better coming out of this draft. And if you go back to some of our videos, I liked him over Bryce Young. I like the bigger guy, the more prototype, I guess you would say, type guy. And Stroud is that big, strong arm, young guy. And man, he is slinging it out there. Tank Dell, Nico Collins, a little bit of Robert Woods. Man, all those guys are playable right now.
Ferguson, Musgrave, Pitts, Higbee can only have one.
It's actually
Musgrave or Ferguson, right?
It's actually Luke, but we'll give you a pass on that one. Yeah, it's between Ferguson and Musgrave. I would probably lean Ferguson, but Musgrave, man, Musgrave is really involved too. The thing that I don't want to say concerns me, but Musgrave's been pretty good, but you got Aaron Jones most likely coming back Thursday. Christian Watson is going to come back at some point. So that may limit his upside. I think it's really CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard, Michael Gallup. Brandon Cooks has been a bum for the first 3 weeks.
Oh, he's hurt. Yeah, he's been hurt.
So yeah, I mean, give me Musgrave if Christian Watson's out, but I would go with Ferguson probably over the long haul of the season.
Yeah, give me the better offense. I also heard a rumor, I don't know how true it is, that the Cowboys have some interest in trading for Kyle Pitts. I heard. I don't know if that's true or not. If anybody else heard that, let me know. That would be kind of interesting. Henry or Musgrave this week?
Henry's the higher up, the more touchdown, higher upside guy. Let me see. I got to see let me bust up the schedule. NFL. Week 4. What was it? Henry or Musgrave?
Yeah.
So the Packers obviously playing Thursday home against the Lions. I do like that matchup a little bit.
Yeah.
And then New England. Fuck is New England? I don't see the Patriots. Why am I not seeing the Patriots? Oh, Patriots at Dallas. Give me Musgrave here on the short week. I'm pretty sure Christian Watson's not going to play. Give me Musgrave here on the short week. It's close.
Give me Henry. Give me Henry. Fuck it. Give me Henry.
I can't argue with that.
Angelo said, would you guys trade A-Chain and Addison in return for Ayuk? I kind of feel like I want more, or I would want something better than Ayuk, right?
Yeah, see, the problem with A-Chain is his value is probably never going to be higher than it is right now. You know,
Mhm.
I think he'll be involved, but to the tune of 200 yards and 4 touchdowns, no, probably not. So Addison had a little bit of a down week, but I still think he'll be fantastic. I think I like the Addison A-Chain side on this one.
Yeah, I don't think I want to go after Ayuk. I'd probably try and go after someone a little bit higher than that, because Addison's going to be really good. I mean, that offense is going to throw the ball a
He
ton.
has been good. He just had
You
one
know,
kind of
I think
off
I
game.
want a bigger differential of points between Ayuk and Addison if I'm going to try and make that trade, right?
Yep.
Peacock said he's starting Geno over Burrow, but he wants to pick up Stroud so bad, being a damn homer because he's a Texans fan, bro. I'm fine with
Hey,
that. Give me Stroud. He's
Peacock.
tossing the rock, bro.
Peacock, I don't blame you one bit, bro. I went out in your league, Steve, and I picked up Jordan Love, and I sat Joe Burrow's ass, and I played Jordan Love, and I didn't win, but Jordan Love was significantly better than Joe Burrow this week. I sat Joe Burrow in our home dynasty league and played Jared Goff, and that paid off. I didn't win, but Jared Goff was better than Joe Burrow, so I don't mind that either. Start Geno and pick up Stroud. If you can carry 3 quarterbacks, that's a lot. I don't know how many roster spots you have. If it's I would imagine this is redraft.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, bro, do whatever's best for your team.
I don't know, Bogey. I don't know, bro. Fuck him.
It's a damn shame.
Ace said, should he trade for Garrett Wilson or Devonta Smith? I wouldn't trade for Garrett Wilson in that situation with the guys that you had on your team. Devonta Smith, I'm okay with trying to go and get.
Yeah.
I don't think Garrett Wilson has enough upside. I want to go after something higher.
Agreed.
Dotson, Sky, and Tony rest of season thoughts. Somebody got to be the number one in KC other than Kelsey, right? I'd like Sky more over Tony, but I mean, Dotson is tough too because that offense isn't really looking great as well. I want to say Dotson because he's like the actual number 2, but he hasn't, produced like it.
I will say this though, Sky Moore has been not great, but over the last 2 games, 7 catches on 10 targets, over 100 yards and a touchdown over his last 2 games. So it kind of looks like he's kind of slotting into that wide receiver 4, maybe 3 upside if he could get you a touchdown. There's just not enough volume for him there. That's what concerns me. And when they get down in that red zone, fucking McKinnon becomes the option. It's McKinnon or Kelsey. That's virtually it. So I would tend to agree with you. It's got to be Dotson just because he is the clear number 2 in that offense. You could kind of slot Brian Robinson in there as well, especially from a pass catching standpoint. Yeah, give me Dotson, but Sky Moore has some upside. Kadarius Toney just frustrates the hell out of me.
Bro, I'm clipping this as soon as we're done.
Said he has some upside. Jesus Christ. Look at the options I'm being presented with. It's not like he's saying AJ Brown, Sky Moore. It's not like he's comparing them to the guys on your Supernova, which I said which one doesn't belong here, and Sky Moore was the one that does not belong.
Goodness. Oh no, he'll belong. He'll belong.
No, clip that.
But yeah, I mean, you could say, hey, I want to just go with the better offense and take the chance on Sky or Tony. I don't know how healthy Tony's going to be, for the whole season. So it's either Dotson or Sky. But I lean Dotson slightly.
Yeah.
I'll be buying Smith after this downish week. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a good week to try and buy Smith after this. So go try and do that if you could. Big old dog. Should I trade James Cook and Darren Waller for Breece Hall, Kyle Pitts, and Zay Flowers?
Yes, do that. The Kyle Pitts thing I'm not in love with, but you're basically getting Breece Hall, who I think is going to pick up the pace. Zay Flowers, I think, obviously is really good. I think this is a net win for you. James Cook has been pretty good, but I think this is a net win at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Doe said, you heard correct about Pitts, but ATL rejected. Oh, shit. Okay. Jackson in the house. Hammer time. After Vikings poverty franchise, I will still cheer, but only expect depression. I know. I'm with you, Jackson. It sucks, but that's okay. We could be on the tank for Caleb.
Oh, whoa! Clip that. Clip that right there. Clip that shit.
We'll know within the next couple weeks. Okay, within the next couple weeks, if we're not, getting back on track, then we're fucked, and we might as well tank for Caleb because we'll be instant. We'll be in there next year. We just got to fix up this damn defense. But it's just like, what the fuck, bro? Marty said, "What do you think of me and Hammer's trade?"
That's the Goddard one.
I never liked Goddard. Goddard, go dirt, whatever. I never really liked him, so on personal bias, I'll chalk it up as an L to you, but it's not a big one. I mean, it works for both of you. If you want the tight end now, that's going to be scoring points, and that's fine. You had the extra QB on your bench anyway, so in context of it, like, you were okay. So it's not bad at all if you go out and get your guy. So
I think
good shit. I think it was a good trade, Marty.
Yeah, Marty and I kind of chatted about this a little bit, and I think it's a good trade for both teams, right? I have Laporta. I don't need Goddard. And I needed a third quarterback, and Jimmy G kind of alleviates that my third quarterback situation. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I got Michael Mayer, who I think is going to be a good tight end. It's just going to take him some time.
Absolutely. Facebook user said he traded a late 24 first for A-Chain. Dumb or nah? I don't think it was dumb. I don't want to say that it's dumb, but I don't think that you should have did it.
How late are we talking? We talking 12, 10, 12,
care.
14? I mean, I don't mind it in the sense that in that offense, right? Mostert has an injury history, right? Jeff Wilson currently on IR. Ahmed currently injured. So I don't mind it because we've seen what he can do. And with those skill guys on that team and Tua at the helm, man, A-Chain could be a big piece for you. He can kind of fill in that RB2 spot with obviously RB1 upside.
But that's the thing. I'm not paying a first for RB2 for an RB2. I'm not doing it, or a running back by committee. Now, by chance, can he, take over this year with a Mostert injury and a Jeff Wilson injury? Yeah, but that's how he's going to take over. So I'm not paying a first for it. Like what you can do with that first, as the season goes on, as it gains more value, even if it's a late first, it doesn't matter. It's still going to gain value, right, into the offseason, and you just have more options of what you can do with that, right? If A-Chain gets hurt, now you're fucked. You got no first, and that's the only reason why. Like, I'd rather buy somebody else for cheaper. Like, I'd rather go spend a second on the older running back, like a Connor or something like that, instead of paying my first for a guy like A-Chain, where I don't think he'll ever reach kind of like RB1 level. And he has that upside. It could be like a Pollard kind of thing. You know what I mean? Where he could reach that back end one status, but I'm not banking on that. I think he's going to be an RB2. Obviously it's going to be a running back committee. So I'm not trying to pay a first for that. And a running back, I don't want to tie up my assets in a running back. So what was your thoughts on it? Do you think that he's going to be the future? Do you think he's going to take over? Do you think he's an RB1? Like, what made you go spend the first on him? Are you trying to win now? Like, what's your situation? Give me a little bit more. Here we go. My thought on the trade. Here we go. Most 31, Jeff is 28. Absolutely. Older backs. Everyone keeps saying he doesn't have the size, but look at Kyren Williams. Well, look at Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams hasn't done jack shit except for this year. I mean, and it's a situation. It's a situational thing, especially in Dynasty. You have to take it year by year. Kyren Williams, it is my belief that he won't be the future guy. They're going to draft somebody else. The Rams were trying to buy someone in the offseason. Same thing with the Dolphins. They've been trying to get another running back. So I don't think they view A-Chain in that light where he's going to be the RB1 for years to come. I think it will always be a committee, and he can absolutely be part of that committee, but I just don't want to spend the first on that. Kyren Williams, I mean, it took all this shit to happen with Akers for him to be, the guy over there. I don't know. What do you think, Cameron?
What's so interesting about Dynasty in particular is that running backs, like, it is a year. It's truly a year-to-year thing. There's only really 4 or 5 guys out there that you can be like, yeah, he's the guy, unquestioned. I know he's the dude. Everything else is virtually either a 2-back or even a 3-back committee, right? So it doesn't make a ton of sense to give up a ton of assets. But listen, I understand the thought process because he has the upside. He's running. The guys in his backfield are much older, especially for running backs anyway. So there is upside there for sure. But I feel like with that first rounder, you could have went out and just picked a running back.
Yeah, I mean, there's very few running backs I would spend the first round on. Probably only like 4 or 5, right? That I'd actually want to spend a first round pick on. But let me say this: if it's a super flex league, I'm not spending the first. If it is 1 QB, it's not bad, and I don't mind it. So I'm not sure if you gave us that context, but that's how I feel about it. And guys, years once when you're playing Dynasty, these running backs just come and go. It's all because of injuries and situations that these guys get a chance to play, and then the next year they're just replaced. So what I don't want to do is spend a first and then the guy gets replaced or injured, and then you're kind of screwed out of it. But 1 QB, not a bad trade. Super flex, I'm not doing it. And I wouldn't say it's dumb, even though I don't agree with it. It's not a dumb trade, so don't get me wrong. Finns had a chance to get Hunt, and they didn't come to anything. Well, Hunt is not anything. That's why. But they were trying to get some of the higher end guys. I feel like if they really didn't trust A-Chain Future, they wouldn't have paid Hunt. I just feel like they have faith. No, that's fine. I feel you. Yeah, it is super flex. Yeah, I feel you. Absolutely. No, it's fine to have different opinions. I'm just kind of telling you how I feel about it. Just from a more, not necessarily from a player standpoint, it's more of a value standpoint and what else you can do with some of the assets that you have, right? That's my only thing is, like I said, I would rather go out and spend a second on like a James Conner and rely on that and then still have my first than to, spend it on an A-Chain. But, if you feel a certain way or you have a gut feeling about a certain guy, there's nothing wrong with going to get your dude. So.
Yeah,
you got anything else to add in there?
No, it's just like you said, what you value the player. Listen, there's definitely upside there, and we appreciate you throwing your viewpoint out there because maybe it's something that we could be like, all right, I can understand it, I can rationalize it, and we just go back and forth. So that's the whole purpose of what we do is to kind of get different perspectives and how people feel about certain players.
Yeah. Would y'all make any moves? My team is 0-3, 3-0. QB is Kirk. Did I miss the team? Did you put it in here? Here it is. My bad. Starters are Kirk, Cook, Jones, Adams, Keenan Allen, Ertz, and Pittman, and Sutton, Pierce, Hunt, Robbie Woods, and Elijah Moore.
I mean, you've been hurt in the last 2 weeks with Aaron Jones, so I would imagine you've got Pierce in there currently. Aaron Jones should play on Thursday, which obviously is good news. Good news for you, Jackson. Michael Pittman was pretty good with Anthony Richardson, so I do like that. James Cook has been terrific as well. Keenan Allen is just killing people, dude. He is just wiping the floor with people this year. There's not a ton on the bench that you can try to tier up with. Maybe Sutton, Pierce, Pittman. I think those 3. That's kind of how I would go about it. Kirk Cousins is just fine at quarterback. The team stinks, but he throws for a ton of yards. And that's actually good for fantasy purposes. If your team is behind or you're trailing or whatever, he's throwing for a ton. If you're 3-0, I mean, obviously you're doing something right, but I would say Pittman, Sutton, Pierce, more so Sutton coming off like really big games. I would try and take advantage of that.
Yeah. I can see that.
Maybe upgrade at tight end a little bit if you can.
Well, I don't know if Ertz didn't do good last game. It looks like McBride is starting to eat in a little bit more now. So I don't know if that was just a thing, last game, but I don't know. Just something to keep an eye out on. But yeah, I would shop around Sutton, Pierce, even Pittman if you have to. See who you can try and get. again, make sure you attack the teams that need what you have. Whatever you want to give up, that team has got to need it, right? Henry or Musgrave. I think we went over this earlier. I think I went Henry. Hammer went Musgrave there.
Very close. Really quick on that. I would even, and this might be a little controversial, I would shop Keenan. I know with Mike Williams out, his stock is massive, but Keenan with this workload, I'm not going to say it, but there's a potential for injury. He had 20 targets last game. No, that was Devontae Adams. I forgot how many, but didn't Keenan throw a touchdown last week?
Yeah.
He did. What? What?
He did have 20 targets. Yeah, 18 catches, 20 targets.
Yeah,
215.
And oh my God,
I have him in one of my dynasties as one of my
bro. He's the wide receiver. The wide receiver 1 in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, he's killing it. But listen, we told a lot of people to hold on to Quentin Johnston onto the bench, for later on in the season, because we didn't think that both of these guys were going to be able to stay healthy for the full season. We're in week 4 and Mike Williams is gone. Now, I do think I like Palmer better as of right now, but
Agreed.
Over the course of the season, as the season goes on, I do like Quentin Johnston more.
Because then Quentin Johnston kind of slides into that third role where he can at least be on the field more, get more reps, get comfortable, maybe start improving his route running and the way he's catching, and how he catches the ball. So, yeah, play Josh Palmer over QJ at this point for the next couple of weeks. But if you start to see QJ get a little more involved, could be showtime.
Devin, we just went over a 24 first for A-Chain 10 minutes ago, not even. So you can rewind and hear all we said about that. But I guess I'll just briefly say I don't love it just because of what else you can do probably with that first when the time comes. And I'd rather, like I said, just spend a second on a guy like Connor if I'm looking to compete. But typically I'm not trying to spend a first on a running back, unless I'm at that point of I'm competing, I'm ready to roll, and I'm trying to win. And I wouldn't do it for an A-Chain, but I just, you can let us know in the comments, what was your thought process on it? Somebody else had just asked this question, so let us know. And it's not a bad trade at all. I just think, strategy wise, there's a little bit more that you can do. But Hammer, any last thoughts on that?
No, pretty much the same. I think your train of thought is correct. But like you said, listen, A-Chain, there is a path to some really good fantasy relevancy. So if you got a feeling, we all have feelings about certain guys, as we all have guys that we like, right? I love me some Sam Laporta. You love you some Sky Moore. I don't know why, but that's fine. But we all have guys that we like. So, if you feel it, go for it.
JAC, rather drop Joshua Kelly or Justice Hill? Probably Hill at this point. I'd probably rather keep Kelly. What do you think, Henry?
I don't know. Based on that,
I just think that Gus Edwards is kind of like the guy that they're giving the ball more to. Justice Hill is hurt right now. It's always going to be a committee. You're never going to know who's going to get the ball. At least Joshua Kelly, it's a good, it's a good offense, just like Baltimore's is. But I feel like even with Eckler there, Kelly's still going to get 12 to 15-ish touches, where Justice Hill, it's kind of like 10 touches. But is it the goal line? I don't know, because Gus Edwards, they use at the goal line too. So it's just weird.
This is going to sound strange. Joshua Kelly is probably a better play when Austin Eckler is in the lineup.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, absolutely. I agree with you 100%, bro.
As weird as that sounds. Same thing, and I was talking about this earlier. Same thing with A.J. Dillon, right? I think A.J. Dillon's a better play when Aaron Jones is on the field. It's just super strange how that works. But, yeah, I tend to agree with you because, listen, Josh Kelly has a higher upside than Justice Hill at this point, and I guess it's that simple.
Fresh Prince, what up? Just got offered Chase and Pacheco for St. Brown and Mostert PPR league. Chase and Pacheco for St. Brown and Mostert. So we're giving up St. Brown and we're giving up Mostert, and he's getting Chase and Pacheco.
I'm not doing that.
So we're keeping Chase and Pacheco. Is that what you're saying?
No.
I mean, we're keeping St. Brown and Mostert.
That is correct.
Yeah, I think I agree with that as well. Pacheco had a good game, but they were up by a lot. I mean, it was a good matchup.
And for whatever reason, like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they love them some CEH. And when you get down near the inside the 5, it's Jerick McKinnon time. And it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, so I think I like the St. Brown and Mostert as well, as of right now. I mean, Chase will be Chase. He'll be back to his normal self, but as we saw, Finn's had a chance. Oh, we saw that one already. My bad. Appreciate it, man. Love you. Pods. Appreciate you, Facebook user. Come over to YouTube so we can get we can get your name or whatever. Shout you out. But yeah, appreciate you. Crispy Dolphins were pretty much taking turns scoring. Coach was like, "Who's next?"
You know what was wild? So I'm sitting there on Sunday, right? And I'm watching my fantasy team just get wrecked by Mostert and A-Chain. And I'm like, bro, they just scored. How did they? And then it was like 42, 49, 56. I was like, all right, they're going to chill out after 50. No, it just kept fucking going. And I was like,
well, they took out Mostert after a while. I think they were up. They were in like the 40s or something like that. They took Mostert out. And then like A-Chain scored, I think, like 2 more times after that. It was nuts, bro.
That was
Keenan only going to go up with the ACL. Yeah, I don't know how much more you can go up over 20 targets, but I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. My only concern, like Hammer said, is just because he's a little bit older. Sometimes the wear and tear is a lot. But I would guess that he probably doesn't. He's probably not going to practice during the week, really. And don't get worried about that. Dude. I think it's just going to be maintenance for an older guy that's getting a ton of work. So
that workload is.
And I love Keenan Allen. I love Keenan Allen. Last year obviously he got injured. All he has to do is just not hurt the hammy. If he doesn't hurt the hammy, he's Gucci. But hopefully he's all right. Brian said he acquired Josh Jacobs and JSN from Mike Williams and Kareem Hunt.
Bing bong.
RB depth is now ETN, Mostert, Monty, and Swift. Would you ride that out or try to upgrade at wide receiver 10 team? Well, who's your wide receivers, Brian?
Right.
Myers, Lamb, Adams, Watson. Thinking of picking up either Dell, Palmer, or Thielen.
Pick up Dell.
Yeah, I'd definitely pick up one of those guys. Dell is going to be good. Just acquire Josh Jacobs and JSN. So yeah, I mean, I like the trade. Obviously, Mike Williams is done, so you won out on that side. You've got some good RB depth for sure. Swift, I kind of said it yesterday in the group chat. I'm like, they're just going to run him into the ground. He's got 1 year left on his deal. They don't give a fuck. They're just gonna use him up. So.
Go to his wide receivers.
Myers, Lamb, Adams, Watson. Yeah, you can always upgrade from Myers and Watson. You got plenty of RBs.
Yeah, I would agree. If you pick up Dell, you're even in better shape to move off of Myers and Watson.
Absolutely. For sure. So yeah, pick up Dell and then try and make an upgrade. See who needs a running back. Who could you give a running back to?
Which of those running backs would you come off of if you had to? ETN, Mostert, Monty. Monty's not going to get you much, or Swift. So ETN, Mostert, or Swift.
Depends who somebody wants. I mean, Swift is a hot commodity right now. So can I get somebody of a higher caliber with Swift? Probably, yeah. So yeah.
Maybe look to pick up an injured Saquon.
Yeah, see who needs a running back, and then see what wide receivers they have and attack that. He's starting Herbert, Keenan Allen, Hill, Metcalf, Zach Moss, Kamara, and Laporta currently 3-0. Gustavo, fucking good shit, my man. You're absolutely killing it. Damn, Keenan Allen, Cheetah, Herbert,
Moss,
and
Laporta.
Yeah, man. What do you think about Murray? I got him on IR since Arizona kind of balling. Do you think he's going to come back sooner and better than last season? He could come back sooner. I mean, I don't know how much they want to pressure it. It seems like they're actually a decent team. I guess we were all fucking wrong about that. I think they're even surprised, to be honest. They're like, "What the fuck?" Okay.
Josh Dobbs,
we're actually decent. We're actually decent.
Yo, if you look at it, Arizona is very close to being 3-0. Let me see I got to see what they did in week 1. I don't even remember what they did in week 1, but obviously they had the massive lead against the Giants, right? That you would think that should have ended up as a win. They only lost by 4 to the Commanders. So they're very easily should be 2-1, could be 3-0. So who knew?
I'm starting Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Tyreek Hill, Metcalf, Zach
Yeah,
Moss, Kamara, and oh yeah, we did that one already. My bad. There was a question after. He said, should he upgrade RBs? You don't really have to. I mean, I only see Zach Moss and Kamara. I'm not sure who your other RBs are, but even if you got some other shitty RBs, I mean, you've got guys that are making up for that
big
production.
time.
So,
Yep.
I think you're fine. I don't know if I'd really want to move off of any of these guys. I kind of just roll with it.
I will say this for this particular team, and I said this about the previous team with Keenan Allen, because you have Tyreek Hill, I would see what's out there for Keenan. I wouldn't trade him necessarily, but I would just see what his value is right now to a lot of teams. Maybe somebody gives up Devontae Adams. Maybe somebody gives up, maybe a little bit of an AJ Brown plus something right now. I know AJ Brown had a nice game yesterday, but I would shop Keenan Allen around just to see what's out there, and somebody might blow you away.
Yeah. Also, just picking your ear, you wouldn't spend a 24 first on an RB2, but you draft the RB in the first round. No, the only RB really that I would draft in the first round, well, just pass, obviously, was either Bijan or Gibbs. And, it's not even only because of how good they're going to be, but it's the value, like what you can get for those guys or what you're going to be able to get, even if they don't produce right away, is you can literally, change your team around, with one of these guys.
I was just saying, depending on where the first ends up. Now, I know you said it's a late first. It was just an additional option. I didn't mean go out there and just pick a running back, but you can also come and around draft time, right? Those picks become even more valuable. So there's always value to be had. You can even move up if you wanted to and get somebody.
And they were first round picks. So, if you're a running back and you get picked in the first round, I mean, there's a high percentage chance that you can hit, as an RB1 in the NFL. So, you're more inclined to try and draft those guys in the first round other than RBs that get drafted, in the second, third, or, I mean, Brees got drafted in the second, but we kind of knew what Brees was, Kenny Walker, but we kind of knew what these guys were a little bit. So, when you got guys drafted even higher than that, I mean, some of those guys you can take chances on. But, I mean, first round wide receivers have about a 70% hit rate, going into the NFL. So any wide receiver kind of that gets picked in the first round, they have a very good chance of at least finishing or producing at least one wide receiver 2 season for you. So, first round wide receivers are really good guys to go after. Of course, you've got the QBs and everything, but it's just rough to try and spend it on an RB, just that value, and to have all of your or have a valuable asset wrapped up in the RB position. It's tough, especially in Dynasty. So I like to put that around for the rest of my team, and then buy some running backs when it's time to go, because you can get some of these older guys for cheaper than that for cheaper than the first. So that's kind of how I like to do it. That's kind of my strategy. But you got anything else to say on this one, Hammer?
No, I was just saying that the value could be there, and there could be other options, right? Somebody might want to move down, right? And you'll be able to trade that first plus and move up if you want to take a guy. So I guess overall, the point of the value is still going to be there, especially around draft time.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Just Dre, what up, bro? Should I trade Calvin Ridley versus Atlanta or Jordan Addison? Should I start? My bad. Calvin Ridley versus Atlanta or Jordan Addison versus Carolina? I know Ridley is wide receiver 1, but Addison is producing and getting his red zone.
This is a tough one. I think
I'm
still going
Addison over Ridley.
Yeah, I'm still going Ridley here, just because you don't want to be that dude that sits Ridley and he goes for 120 and a touchdown. You don't want to be that dude. So still go Ridley here, but I understand the concern. I have similar concerns with some of my guys, my big name guys that haven't been producing, and there's some younger guys that are kind of stepping up. So I understand the temptation, but you got to play the season long numbers, and the chances that Calvin Ridley or the chances that Addison outplays Ridley on a week-to-week basis. You want to roll with Ridley there.
For sure. Matthew, what's up, Matthew? Traded Tua. He's got Mahomes. All right. And Ridley. So you traded Tua and Ridley for Deshaun Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, we gotta clear that up. Deshaun Watson, maybe.
I don't know. And Ramondre needed RB. Thoughts. Needed an RB. Wide receivers are AJ Brown, Amari Cooper, Ayuk, Nico Collins. AJ Brown, Amari, Ayuk, Nico Collins. Okay, I like that. Traded Tua. You have Mahomes, so I'm guessing this is a 1 QB, or is it? I don't know. I'm confused. Let me know, brother.
It might be
Is it
Deshaun
Deshaun
Watson.
Watson? It's got to be, right?
You'd imagine.
Do you see it in the chat there? Did he write it in there or no?
I don't even have the chat up. I was kind of just hold on.
Maybe it's Superflex. Maybe it's Tua and Ridley for Deshaun Watson,
Yeah, it's Watson.
and
Watson.
Ramondre. Okay.
Mhm.
Watson and Ramondre. You gave up Ridley and Tua.
I mean, he has the wide receiver depth. I would have rather given up Amari Cooper, like a combination of Amari Cooper and maybe Ayuk.
Well, I guess I feel like you didn't have to give up the QB to go and get a running back. You know? Like, did we have to? It's not bad if you need an RB, I guess. I mean, you've got some other guys in there, but you're right. I probably would have liked to trade someone else instead of Ridley, but that's not a bad trade.
Amari Cooper's been solid. Ayuk, obviously. Nico's been really good too. I mean, yeah.
Devin said, "Oh, he's the Facebook user with the HA train. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you coming over to YouTube here." Rod Tips Down said 12-team PPR, 1 QB, 2 wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 flex. Cousins, Monty, Harris, Pierce, Algier, Watson, Diggs, CD, Hopkins. How do I get better at RB? Do I trade CD for Scary Terry, Brian Robinson, and Flowers? You don't do that. I'll tell you. I'm not doing that. Not trading CD. Why, you like that?
I don't mind it. I don't love it. I mean, see, the problem is that the CD Diggs combo is so lethal, potentially anyway. Monty, I guess that's Najee Harris, Damian Pierce, and Tyler Algier. Yeah, if you traded CD, you could get something way better. You probably don't want to trade CD at that point. I don't know, man.
See if there's somebody that's hurting at RB and throw a couple RBs at them. Maybe they want to split, an RB down the middle. Maybe they got a lot of injuries. They don't have a good RB2. Maybe they're willing to come off of, one of their guys. It's going to be tough because Harris really hasn't done jack. Pierce has been not that good. Algier's been okay.
Monty's I think the time to get rid of Algier may have passed.
Yeah, it might be tough, but I'm not getting rid of Diggs or CD. I'm not getting rid of those guys because that's a clear advantage. I'm not doing that. So I would look into who needs a running back. Maybe combine some guys. I'm not sure who's on your bench either, but maybe you can try and just find a running back option. Didn't catch the question. Hammer, can you find Ace's question? I don't remember.
Gotcha. Hold on.
Jay said, what do you guys think the outlook is for Jerome Ford? I mean, he's going to be a guy for the rest of the, for the rest of the season. He's going to be a guy. He's going to have the opportunities. He's going to get, good work. Is he always going to have touchdowns and 100 yards? No, but he's going to be a solid RB2, I think, for the rest of the season. I mean, Dynasty, it's a 1-year thing. I'm not thinking he's going into next year being the guy. If he is, then great. But the chances of that are very slim. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah, we definitely didn't hit this one.
My bad. My bad, Ace, if we missed it.
So Ace's question is, what do you think of me trading Burrow, Hill, Waller, Devonta Smith? Trading for Burrow, Hill, Waller, and Devonta Smith. He gives up Deshaun Watson, Diggs, Puka, and Hawkinson.
Can you pull it up? Will it let you pull it up?
No.
Shit. Can
It's
you
way
star
better.
it? Can you star it? There's a top
No.
right corner. There's a star.
I don't have that.
How far?
It's pretty far back. 1035. Right before Marty.
1035. I don't think oh, here we go. My bad. What do you think of me trading for Burrow, Hill, Waller, Devonta Smith? You're giving up Deshaun Watson. You're giving up Diggs for Hill. You're giving up Puka for Devonta. You're giving up Hawkinson for Waller. Burrow, Hill, Waller, Devonta Smith.
What Ace, what are you trying to accomplish here? Like what guy do you want to go after? Because or you're just kind of shaking up the whole thing? Because there are times, and one of my general rules for trading is stay away from these massive like 8-player deals, because then it's truly hard to find out if you won the deal or you got the best value. The best player in this deal is obviously Tyreek Hill, so you would be getting the best player in this deal. The tough part is, though, there are some players on his end that are better than yours and vice versa. So obviously Burrow is not playing well. Deshaun, even though he wasn't playing well, is playing better, right? So Hawkinson is way better than Waller. And Devonta Smith and Puka, that's kind of a wash at this point, in my estimation. So that's a tough one to really judge. Who are you trying to go after, I guess, is the real key there.
Yeah.
That's a tough one to judge.
Syntex just traded Freiermuth, DJ Moore, and Jerome Ford for Breece Hall, Andrews, and Michael Thomas. Dub.
Traded Freiermuth, Moore, and Ford. Got Breece, Andrews, and Thomas. I like Breece the rest of the season. It's going to be tough, though. That Jets offense does not look good at all. I think you're trying to capitalize on the Jerome Ford kind of value. DJ Moore hasn't been great. Freiermuth has been okay at tight end, not great either. Yeah, I think this is kind of lateral-ish. Michael Thomas doesn't move the needle for me at all. Who would you say the best player in this deal is? Breece. So you're getting the best player, essentially.
I guess you could say, Breece, Andrews.
I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it, too. I don't love Michael Thomas, but I'm okay with it. Blockbuster Flow said, okay, should I trade Keenan Allen and Mostert for Tyreek Hill? Mike will out for the season, of course. Also have Jay Jettas, Garrett Wilson, Josh Jacobs, and JT on IR if that helps. What do we think here, Hammer?
Man, that is a lot of production you're giving up. Yeah, I'm doing it. I would see if I could get a little bit plus Tyreek Hill. Because
so it's just Keenan and Mostert for Cheetah.
I would see if I could get a little something else on top of Cheetah, because Keenan and Mostert are just balling out right now.
Yeah, can you get some other running back that they have, maybe? You know? Anything? Even if it's like a Roshan or something like that.
See, instead of giving up Mostert, see if you can get Garrett Wilson. I know it might not be as valuable.
No, he has Garrett Wilson.
That's what I'm saying. Instead of giving up Mostert, give up Garrett Wilson.
Oh, nah, you can't. The guy probably wants a running back. That's why.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably only doing it because he needs the RB. But
would you make that deal?
Shadrack, what up, Shadrack? It's been a while, bro. Jordan Love's top 12 QB. There's no argument to the contrary at this point. I know Hammer loves that. We'll see how it stacks up at the end, but he's absolutely been a top 12 QB so far.
No. Don't short him. He's top 5 right now.
He's been a top 12 QB so far. Yes.
No, he's 5 now.
They've played 2 shit defenses.
There's
still a lot to go. Jordan Love has been awesome so far, without a doubt.
I think there's
very good reason to be optimistic about Jordan Love. Let me say that.
Can you clip
that make you feel better? Does that make you feel better?
No, I don't need your stamp of approval. I told you Jordan Love was going to be solid, and he had. You told me. Hold on.
I did
You
tell
told
you.
me before the season Jordan Love was not top 15 material. You said that.
I said he wasn't going to finish top 15. We'll see how that ends up at the end of the season. So far, I'm very wrong.
Clip that one as well, Dan. We should just clip the whole show.
Well, listen, you got to be real when shit is real. But again, of course,
Maybe I'm a little.
But no, he's been awesome so far. You can't.
Maybe I'm a little too close to the situation.
Can't say anything about that. Ridley or Ramondre, good deal. Ninja said.
Ridley for Ramondre, so you're giving up
just
Ridley
straight up giving up Ridley, taking Ramondre.
No, I'm keeping Ridley. Do you need a running back?
Yeah, obviously he's definitely gonna need. He definitely needs a running back.
I'm not crazy about it.
It's okay. I mean, it's not bad, but I'm not crazy about it either. Should I look to trade Brees? If so, for who? It depends who needs their RB. Like, it's hard to give you specific names because that team that has that player might not need a Brees Hall. So you're better off just sifting through the teams and who needs a RB that's going to want to buy Brees Hall, and then attack it that way. That's it. That's the best advice I can give you as far as who to go after.
For sure.
Devin said, "Who's your top 5 busts so far this year?"
Oof. That's a fantastic question, Devin. Number one's got to be Joe Burrow.
Yeah. I mean, he's been hurt, but yeah, for sure.
Regardless, for sure. The bottom line is the bottom line. It's got to be Joe Burrow's up there. Let's see who I have on my team, because I have a lot of guys that are terrible. Najee Harris has been awful. Josh Jacobs has been awful.
Mm-hmm.
All guys that I have rostered. Jerry Jeudy's been a bit of a disappointment as well.
Yeah, he's been hurt, but yeah, I feel you.
Anybody else you could think of?
I mean, Kenny Pickett, I know we thought he'd take the next step up.
Mm-hmm.
Stevenson so far. There's not much else really. Daniel Jones. I mean, I guess he's had that one good game, but
relative to,
I think you said kind of the main ones, some of the main ones there.
There are some underrated guys that have been pretty bad too that you thought would be just not even top guys. Like Drake London hasn't been great. Kyle Pitts you could throw in there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we always thought kind of it's going to depend on the offense, but I mean, fuck. I mean, Ritter keeps playing like that. I mean, Ritter, trash. Fucking Howell, trash. I mean, we're going to start to see now what these guys really are. So, yeah.
Good question, though.
Dems said 10-man, half PPR. Traded Mostert and Dell for Jacobs. All right. Team is now Burrow, Geno, Jacobs, Cook, Madison, Ford, Hunt, CD, St. Brown, Puka Flowers, Andrews, Henry. Okay. How's that trade? St. Brown, Puka Flowers, CD.
You gave up a ton of production for a guy that's not really producing right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you think Jacobs is going to bounce back, then I understand the thought process, but
I didn't think you would have to give up both of those guys, especially the way they're both playing, for a guy that's not really playing well. I guess that's the biggest. Listen, if you would have traded Tank Dell for Jacobs because you needed some help at running back, I could have lived with that. You know what I mean? But Mostert and Dell, that's a tough pill to swallow. And also, too, Burrow's not playing well, which hurts. Like, if Burrow was playing well and you can make up the production in other areas, that would be okay. St. Brown, Puka Flowers, that's solid. I will CD as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think your team was pretty good with Mostert and Dell. I understand because Mostert, Cook, and Ford, those are 3 starting running backs, like 3 guys you're in the top, I think 12, I believe, in Mostert, Cook, and Ford, or somewhere in that fringe, high RB2, low RB1. So a little bit of a downgrade. I mean, shit, with those 2 guys you traded, you could have probably got something with more upside. Maybe a Derrick Henry potentially. I know Derrick Henry hasn't played well, but
Yeah. I would say the same. Not in love with the trade, but I mean, you still have a good team regardless, so you could be all right there. I have JT, Swift, and Kelsey. Help me rename my team. My current thoughts is the best Swift and Kelsey duo. Okay.
oh
That's not
yeah,
bad.
that was
I like that.
the Swift Kelsey thing is just, it's like on a silver platter for you.
And just ignore Jonathan like the Colts.
Yeah. You can even add
I
that
like
in.
it. I like it. I like it. I don't have anything off the top of my head to come up with, but Stevenson's the biggest bust in his opinion. Listen, we warned people about Stevenson. I mean, we weren't very high on Stevenson to begin with, and then Zeke, then Zeke wound up going there. But I think there are better days ahead for Stevenson, if I'm being fair.
And listen, he's currently RB16 in in full PPR. So that's not, I wouldn't label him as the big. Josh Jacobs has been
Well,
more
compared to
robust.
what we thought Stevenson, people had Stevenson as like a top 6, top 6 or top 12ish guy, which
Has he played better than Josh Jacobs?
Yeah, I guess.
Yes, he has. And that's all I got to say about that.
Tank Dell going forward. I think he's going to be solid. I mean, he gets 4 years with his boy Stroud. I think in the offseason, I said he could be a wide receiver 2. I don't see him ever being like wide receiver 1, status fantasy wise, but I think the ceiling was wide receiver 2, and it looks like so far that is attainable. But what do you think?
I totally agree. And I have Tank Dell in a redraft, and I have him in a dynasty league. He came off my taxi squad so fast. Tank Dell should be rostered. And listen, he's worthy of absolute wide receiver 3 flex consideration at this point.
Yeah, I think I was a little lower on him probably than I should have been, just because there were so many guys, over there in Houston. But
bro, Tank Dell is making people forget about Mechie. Like Mechie is just
we knew that Mechie wasn't. Most of us knew that Mechie was not going to be a thing. With Dell and Collins over there and Woods. So hopefully, nobody really spent up to go and get Mechie. But where is Ridley compared to Garrett on your rankings?
I mean,
Garrett,
listen.
Go ahead. Where's Garrett?
Yeah, we talked about this earlier, especially after the Aaron Rodgers injury. He's a mid wide receiver 2 at this point, at best. Ridley is borderline wide receiver 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say same thing. Ridley, borderline wide receiver 1. Garrett Wilson, more, back-endish wide receiver 2. Ace said if you can get Tyreek and Burrow, might be better. Yeah, that'd be sick if you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Foot Legends, what up, brother? For this week, his team is Goff, Mostert, Moss, Debo, Evans, Andrews, Collins, 49ers D, and Moody. Pierce, Dalvin, Reynolds, Watson, Hunter Henry, Daniel Jones on the bench. Any tips?
The Deshaun Watson thing is interesting because I think he has a little bit more upside than Goff going forward. He is playing on the road. Jared Goff doesn't play as well on the road as he does at home. So I would consider playing Deshaun Watson this week. He looked a lot better. It looks like he's getting a little more comfortable. He's finding Amari Cooper. Elijah Moore starting to pick up the pace. And they did play a tough Tennessee team, and they handled them pretty well for the most part. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm starting Deshaun Watson over Jared Goff this week. Is the one thing that jumps out.
Yeah, it's a close one. You can play whoever you want better, but I think otherwise your lineup is perfectly fine.
Also, too, really quick, if you're in a 1 quarterback league, you don't need 3.
But yeah, I think Watson does give you a little bit of that rushing upside.
Mm-hmm.
They've been neck and neck so far, really, as far as fantasy points. So you could literally just go with whoever you feel like is going to have a better week, I guess. But can't go wrong either way. Ace says he'll have Amon-Ra, Aaron Jones, and McCaffrey left not traded. I mean, that's fine. I don't want to trade CMC or Amon-Ra anyway. Marcos, what up, brother? Love the show. Appreciate you, man. Have Mostert, Pollard, and Miles Sanders, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jerome Ford. Okay. Would you drop Ford or Sanders for A-Chain as an insurance policy in case Mostert goes down like he usually does, and stand pat? Have PPR. Thank you. What do you think, Hammer?
Whew. That's a tough one because Miles Sanders still has value in when it's tough to find running backs. I'm actually looking to buy running backs or looking to trade for running backs in a couple of redraft leagues. And it's tough because there's just so many guys, as we talked about, where they're in a committee somehow, right? So I don't know if I would drop Ford or Sanders for A-Chain. I think you're pretty good at running back for the most part. I mean, Gibbs, Pollard, Mostert, Ford. Maybe try and trade Ford or Sanders.
That's what I was just going to say, is try and make a trade. I know it's late on Tuesday night already, so the chances of you getting a trade done before waivers and all that is going to be slim. So that's tough. I don't think I'd want to drop any of those guys either. If I had to pick one,
That's
I
tough.
guess it'd be almost Miles Sanders, but
that's a tough one.
Yeah, it's real tough at this point.
Is there anybody else you could drop, like a wide receiver that's down there on the bench somewhere?
Is any extra wide receiver that you can drop, extra QB, extra tight end, extra defense? I mean, Miles Sanders is always going to get a pretty good amount of work, so it's tough. I don't really want to get rid of him either. So
no,
I don't really think I want to get rid of any of those guys. Swift loves tight ends. You could go with that. No one wants Mostert or Garrett. Well, fine. Just keep the RB, one on the season now or 2? What is he?
He's up
Mostert,
there, dude.
RB1 now? Shit, just keep him then. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Y'all don't want the RB1? Okay, I'll just plug him in. That's all. Nah, just keep Walker and Mostert. I think you're rolling strong with those two guys, man. One Nation was good. One Nation. I hope Godwin gets traded. This is a possibility. He's also a free agent in 2025 because I did wind up getting him on one team, looking into it a little bit more. But I think it'll be better for him and us as fantasy owners. Yeah, absolutely. That could happen. They could just try and revamp the whole shit. I mean, they didn't give Evans the contract, so he's going somewhere else next year. He's going to be a free agent unless they decide to try and tag him or something.
And Evans has been balling out.
So can Godwin get traded, or does it take one more year for Godwin to go somewhere else? So, and do week 4 PPR flex, Brian Robinson versus Philly, negative game script, possible. Yep, absolutely. Jordan Addison versus the Panthers or Drake London. Also QB Fields or Geno. We're not playing Fields until further notice. Fields is riding the fucking pine. What do you think, Hammer?
Well, there is a case to be made against that Denver defense. That got
nope, I don't care.
by...
We said the same shit for Kansas City. Fuck out of here. Justin Fields, you're on the bench, dog.
Yeah, I've been talking shit about Justin Fields. It's Geno here. And to be fair, Geno's playing at home, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. Geno at home, week 4.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not looking at it. I don't care who Geno's playing. We're playing Geno.
No, Geno's actually at the Giants on Monday night. Yeah,
Even better. Oh, yeah, he said G-Men right there. What the fuck? I'm an idiot. He says versus the G-Men. Yeah, we're going Geno. And Robinson or Addison? I'd probably go Addison too, but it's tough not to go B-Rob just because of the volume that he gets, right? I mean, all it takes is one play or down by the goal line and he scores a tutty. So I will say that it might be safer maybe to play. I don't know. That's tough. Gibson fumbled again, so this motherfucker
Gibson's toast.
Is fucked right now. So I think you might have to go with Robinson actually.
I'm still going to take Addison here. I think he
gets
good work versus Carolina.
Yeah, all he needs is one catch. So go with the tutty on. As of right now, give me B-Rob, but ask me again on Friday or Saturday. Shadrack said, in all seriousness, with Watson, Jones, Bach, Jenkins, and Jair, they have a serious argument for worst roster in the league. Love came back down 17 in the fourth against the top 10. Yeah, he did. He was shitty for 3 quarters and then came back. Absolutely. 100%, bro. 100%. Christian Watson needs to get healthy. I have him in 16 of 20 of my dynasty leagues. Okay. I would probably try and move him in a couple leagues, just kind of diversify a little bit, see what you can get. But damn, I mean, if you like Watson like that, shit, hell yeah. I mean, especially with how Love is playing right now, I'm sure the value of him, I'm sure you can kind of might be able to move him.
I think you're onto something there, but I think his value would skyrocket even more if he comes back and has 100 yards and a touchdown. Like he catches one of those beautiful, slants that we saw last year against Philly and just takes it to the house. So
that's true.
I would actually hold Watson.
What if he doesn't do that? What if he doesn't do that and goes out there and rolls like a duddish game?
Then you wait for that game because you'll maximize his value. I don't think with him being hurt for basically the first month, his value is that high.
Well, I think just with Jordan Love and the fact that how he's playing, that people, will kind of push Watson up or feel a lot better, about Watson. So
maybe that's possible. See what's out there.
Matrix said, pick up Palmer or Sutton off of waivers.
That's a tough one.
Do we take the better offense with Palmer, or do you take the guy that's been kind of hot right now with Sutton?
I think Jerry Jeudy's going to start cutting into some of that work. I hope anyway. Jesus, I give me Sutton.
Yeah, I guess I'm fine with that. Well, man, it's tough because I really like Herbert this year. He's been doing his thing so far. But Sober Money said he's got a pickle. All right, what's going on, Sober Money? What can we do, dog? PPR Superflex rebuild. Have a chance to get Burrow for St. Brown in an early 2024 first. Probably 1 or 2 pick. My current QBs are Stroud, Murray, and Wilson. So if I get Burrow, I'd have Burrow, Stroud, Murray, and Wilson. So do we take Burrow or do we take Caleb, right? Do we keep St. Brown and just take Caleb and go from there? Or do we go out and get the boy Burrow?
You know what, Sober? You were not lying when you said you're in a pickle because I'm running through the paces here trying to decide because, listen, you can make the case either way, right? Like Joe Burrow's that dude. I know he's been a little, injured here. And I am actually worried about Joe Burrow for this particular season because that calf injury is going to be a lingering thing, especially if he stays on it and plays every week. But
he's rebuilding anyway, so that's all good.
Man, St. Brown in that early 2024 first. If you're rebuilding, yeah, give me Burrow because you have Stroud. It's going to be hard to let go of St. Brown, though. That's sure. I don't know. What do you think? I can't.
This is my thinking. Let me take the proven QB in Joe Burrow, who I know is going to be, awesome, and just take the risk out of, Caleb Williams or May or whatever it is, whatever pick that turns out to be in. Give me Burrow. Give me Burrow in that instance. So now I got Burrow, Stroud, Murray, Wilson. Now I can leverage and trade Russell Wilson for something, or Kyler Murray. So, you can almost go out and buy St. Brown back if you wanted to, so.
Yeah.
I think that's a tough one, but yeah, I think give me Burrow and then, you're set there.
And that could also be Marvin Harrison.
It could be. It could be, but you need the, you want the QB. I mean, you have Kyler Murray, so you're not like pressed for QB, but it's always good to have him. And then you can trade for, QBs are king, right? So you can trade Murray, you can trade Wilson, you can keep those guys. You can shape up whatever, whatever you want to shape up. You know, can you trade Russell Wilson right now and, you know, possibly get a first to a team that wants to win now? I mean, that might be tough, but
I think that's the
you know, even if you have to add a little bit more to it to get the first, like then you roll in with Stroud, Murray, and Burrow.
Could do a lot worse than that.
You know, and you're, you know, as long as Stroud keeps doing what he's doing, I mean, with Stroud and Burrow, you're going to be pretty much in contention as long as the rest of your team ain't jack shit. But
and Burrow's locked in.
You know, who else is on your team? Can you make some moves? Can you leverage, you know, down tier some trades? Like I've recently traded Waddle for Pittman in the first. I've recently traded Waddle for Chris Godwin in a first. Just kind of, you know, leveraging down. And even though Godwin is a little bit older, he's just, you know, just a little bit of a value right now. It doesn't matter what he's doing at the moment, but I can move that piece later on. But just kind of picking up first, getting some leverage so I can try and rebuild. Look how Jacob started the first 3 games last year. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, but the little bit of a difference is that Jacobs didn't miss training camp last year, and everything.
DJ can be better. Kirk Cousins, he's good. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you sober. I think I might just take the proven guy. You only spending 1 first in St. Brown to get a Joe Burrow. I mean, that's not really even that bad, to be fair. You know, and I always recommend grabbing the veteran QB, or, you know, the guy that's been proven already, than relying on a rookie coming in, even though we think that Caleb's going to be awesome. But we're hoping Caleb turns into Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's already Joe Burrow. So, you know, that's what I would say about that. Dev said, who do you think lands Caleb Williams next year?
At this point, it's the Vikings.
Shut your fucking mouth. I'm okay with that, though. Oh man. I mean, the Bears are pretty damn bad, and they might be just fed up with Justin Fields at some point. Yeah. But, you know, to be fair, that whole franchise is kind of fucked, and I think Caleb has said something about like possibly staying if it's not the right team or some shit like that. So I don't know. There could be a lot of shit that happens. Is it Denver? Did they just say fuck out of here, Russell? And then, you know, Caleb goes with Sean Payton over there in Denver if they continue to suck.
That would be wild.
You know? So, I don't know. It's rough. Who do you guys think lands them? What do you think?
I think it's still a little too early to tell. But it's got to be, like you said, you got to look at some teams, you know? I know Arizona, it looked like at the beginning of the season that it was a lock to beat the Cardinals, but I don't know. Cardinals are playing pretty well, and I think they'll get a few wins. Chicago's interesting, man. Like, damn, people don't want to go to the Bears. Like, it's that bad.
Yeah. Nicholas said, "Sorry, boys, I'm redraft, but didn't retire." All good, man. We do both. We're doing both redraft and Dynasty. So I'll get to your question there. Just be a little bit patient. We are streaming on both channels tonight, guys. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Smash the like first, smash that subscribe, and we'll get to all the questions there. Chasers, what up, bro? I got Tua and Herbert. Who's getting traded?
Chasers, you are living a beautiful life right now with both of those guys, but I would imagine it's a 1 QB league. I'm trading Herbert. I know you're probably going to trade Tua just because of the health concerns. I think Tua is the front runner for MVP currently. He's balling. See what you could get for both, right? Whoever's going to give you the best package. But if I had to pick one, Mikey Will got hurt.
I mean, Tua and Herbert are like neck and neck right now, pretty much, as far as fantasy points. I mean, Tua's got 2 more tutties. Well, passing tutties.
I like the diversification of the offense for Tua a little bit more than I like for Herbert. I know Eckler's been hurt the last couple of games. He should be back pretty soon. How do you decide? You're taking Herbert.
Whoever the other team wants is fine. Or you can play it off like, you know, whoever that guy wants, make it like you really, really do want to keep that guy. And then, you know, try and get the guy that you want and be like, you know what? All right, fine. If you give me my guy, I'll give you fucking Tua or Herbert, whichever one that guy wants.
I feel like you can't lose in this situation.
Yeah, try and play a little bit of a mind game there. You know, make it like you really want to keep the guy that he wants. You know, so see who he wants and then just, you know, try and fuck with him at that point.
Damn, Steve's out here trying to mind fuck people.
Fucking psychological warfare, boys. That's how we do it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I can't be mad at that. We got this one already.
My bad. We did that. I think Caleb Williams, my bad. Simp, what up, Simp? Need a QB for week 5 with Herbert out. CJ Stroud is available, but we'll need to drop Roshan, Elijah Mitchell, or JSN. Think Roshan. Fuck, man.
I think I'm dropping Elijah Mitchell, honestly.
You could probably drop Elijah Mitchell and then pick him back up and just hope that CMC doesn't get hurt. And Elijah Mitchell is the guy. But yeah, I think I might be with Hammer here. Maybe take the chance on dropping Mitchell and then picking up Stroud.
You're not dropping JSN.
Because if you drop JSN, someone's going to scoop him. And I like him for like, a longer term of the season. Don't forget, guys, he's still coming back from that fucking wrist, from the wrist injury. So Sober said he dropped JSN. He doesn't think he'll do anything until Lockett leaves or retires. That could be true. We'll see as this season goes on. Should I drop one of the guys mentioned above to pick up Palmer or Herbert? Also have Quentin Johnson on the bench. Which guys did you mention above? Oh.
I think Palmer's a legitimate pickup.
Yeah. It depends if you need wide receiver or not. I don't know what you need necessarily. So if you need wide receiver, then absolutely pick up Palmer. And being that you have the stack makes it a little bit even more, even better. Do you think Barkley will be ready by week 5? No idea. Unfortunately, I'm not a doctor, but I think he'll come back sooner than he should. So it's possible he plays this week. I mean, who knows? But
they need him.
Right. So I always go to the wrong channel. Y'all do 2 stream at once, and I get into the stream where y'all aren't reading the comments from. Well, I'm going in order. So whatever comments come first, like I'll get to it. We'll definitely get to it. Whatever comes first is kind of just how I go down the list here. But yeah, we stream to both channels on Tuesday nights. Sorry, Sober Money. But we'll definitely get to your question. It might just take a little bit longer than usual on Tuesdays, but we'll absolutely get to it. But yeah, it's all in order. It's not just from I'm not just picking from the other channel and not the other. Whatever comes in first. So it's fair for everybody. Chaser said, got to start either Ridley or Ayuk to play Sunday. Should I lean toward Ayuk if healthy? My other wide receiver is JJ.
I don't know, man. I think I'm still going Ridley here. Like I said, I don't want to be that guy. Ridley is the clear number 1. Deebo Samuel out in San Francisco is on a little bit of a tear right now. I know Ayuk has been pretty good, but I'm going Ridley here. I believe they're playing in London in that early game.
Yeah, I'm going Ridley too. Elias says, should I trade Pacheco and McLaurin for Josh Jacobs? You taking the upside in Jacobs here for a Pacheco and McLaurin?
Yep.
At that price?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll take it. For that price, go get him. Go get him, Eli. Would you do Garrett, Mostert, and Brees for Ridley and Gibbs? Mostert and Brees?
That's a lot.
I mean, you get Ridley, but
Gibbs hasn't exactly broke out. Now he can at any time.
I like Gibbs too, but I mean, Mostert is RB1 right now, so
agreed. Gibbs
I feel like you can sell him for higher.
Gibbs did get 17 carries, which you love that.
He did
love that.
Yeah. Sure.
And the week before he had 9 targets in the passing game. So his volume is definitely picking up. I don't know if I could give up Mostert and Brees. That's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Eli said his question was redraft. I got you, Eli. No problem. I think I assume most of the redraft ones because you guys listen to us and watch us typically. So most of our regular listeners, I kind of know what you're referring to, whether it's Dynasty or if it's redraft. And I'm going to assume everything is redraft unless you specify Dynasty. So if it is Dynasty, just specify Dynasty and what the format is, how many teams, right? 12 teams, super flex, start 10, right? However many starters on offense. This way we can properly assess, whatever it is that you're asking. But I'm going to assume redraft. No, we did that one. I'm thinking Falcons for Caleb Williams. That's why I'm cautiously declining every trade for Pitts or Drake London right now.
That's understandable, but I think the Falcons are going to win games. That division's not great. They're going to win some games.
They're going to have to buy one or sign one in the offseason or something, I think. I don't know if they're going to be bad enough to get a Caleb Williams.
They're better than the Bears. I think they're better than the Falcons. They're going to finish, and especially in that division, right? The division's not great. So I think they're going to finish with like 7 wins, maybe, somewhere in that range.
Mm-hmm. We starting Dubes or B-Rob at flex this week, Hammer? If Watson plays, we starting Dubes? Or if Watson doesn't play, does that matter?
That's the answer. But the problem is that Dubes plays on Thursday.
Yeah, so we'll know if Watson's going to play or not.
Yeah, if Watson doesn't play, I'm firing up Dubes. Now, Dubes has been hit or miss. In a couple, like in one game it's Reed, one game it's Dubes. One game it's Reed, one game it's Dubes. So I still think I'm firing up Dubes this week if Christian Watson's out, which it looks like he's going to be.
For sure. Nicholas smashed that for sure. Go get Zay Flowers.
Yep. Oh, yeah, no question.
Go get Zay Flowers, Nicholas. Appreciate you. Derek said, thoughts on this trade? 10-team, half PPR. Send Mostert and Ridley for Gibbs and Waddle.
I like that.
That's not bad. I like that. We'll take it.
I like that.
Kind of laterally-ish, but it's not a bad trade. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make the trade. Also tempted to keep Ridley another week to see if he has a big revenge game against Atlanta. He's going to have big games. I don't think that's I don't think you can't expect him to not have big games. Just like Waddle's going to have some big games. I mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
don't mind the trade, though.
No, I don't mind it either. But, as of right now, most of them Ridley are going to give you some more production at the moment. Owen, what's good, Owen? Would you trade Amari Cooper for Mixon? I need an RB. Is Cooper expendable, like, for your squad?
Owen, I just want to say something. That is a fantastic icon you got.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're in desperate need of a running back, we've always talked about, and I've actually liked Mixon, but he's not efficient. Now, he did have a big game. I don't want to fall in love with that big game, but he's been steady. And if you need steady production at the RB spot, you could do a lot worse than Mixon, who's going to be a high-end, basically RB2. Probably not going to hit RB1.
He could. I mean, they might lean on him a little bit now with Burrow kind of injured.
Maybe.
He plays on a good offense. So I do like Mixon, but my question would be more so like, who else do you have on your squad to replace Amari Cooper? Like, I'm fine with it as long as you're okay at wide receiver,
Yeah, the yards per
here
carry.
we go. My bad. It's here.
Yeah, the answer is yes then.
Yeah, absolutely. Go do it, baby. Go do it. You got JJ, Keenan, Ayuk. Yeah, we're doing it. And Kelsey, hell yeah. Song, what's good, Song? I have CMC, Pierce, Gainwell, and Bigsby. Should I trade Ridley or Sun God for Kamara or ETN? Should I trade Ridley or Sun God for Kamara or ETN? I'm not trading Sun God.
You could flip Ridley for ETN. I wouldn't mind that.
Ridley for ETN?
I wouldn't mind that at all.
Or do you even want to do that? Do you want to just keep the wide receivers and just say, fuck it, I'm just going to play CMC and Dameon Pierce every week and just roll the dice. Whatever happens with Pierce happens with Pierce. And just to keep the advantage at wide receiver. What's your other wide receivers looking like, Song? I have Puka, Cooks, Dotson. I'm not doing it.
I wouldn't mind flipping Ridley for ETN.
Because if you can play Ridley, Sun God, and Puka every week, I'd rather have that and just roll with whatever Damian Pierce gives me.
What are the other go to the other wide receivers?
So he's got Sun God, he's got Ridley, he's got Puka, Cooks, Dotson, and Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, that is a tough one because then you're essentially Puka has to be your 2, which at this point is okay, but we got to see what the Cooper Cup situation looks like.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. What are you doing, Hammer? What are we doing, bro?
I feel like running backs come at a dime a dozen, and you have CMC who's going to make up. Yeah, I'm going to lean not to do it because CMC is so awesome.
I just roll the dice at the RB2. I don't care. I'm keeping Ridley and Sun God. Let's keep him. Let's keep him, Song. Let's keep him. PB Dubs said, don't make that trade. What up, PB Dubs? What's goody? The Schmitty said Jacobs and Kamara or Jacobs and Pierce.
Kamara.
Yeah, give me Kamara too. Give me Kamara too. The Smitty. Caddy said, yeah, I think giving Brees is also too much, but I know he won't take Mostert because he knows Mostert value is inflated.
Then keep him and let him ball out for you, like Blanc said.
Chaser said he's going to start Ridley. Yeah, I'm with you. Bijan Kamara or Pierce? Bijan Kamara.
It's Bijan. So it's kind of not close.
Yeah.
Was there
Derek
anything?
said, how'd you get both JJ and Kelsey? Yeah, I'd love to know how you got that. I wonder if you made a trade or something. You know?
Because those are both first-round guys.
Yeah. Drop Elijah Mitchell, pick up Palmer, drop Roshan. Pick up CJ, drop Mitchell, pick up Palmer, drop Roshan. If you don't need running backs and you need a wide receiver, then yeah, I'm okay with that. I'd love to rather trade him because I'm sure you could probably trade him to somebody. You didn't even get anything, but
well, with the waivers are coming up.
Exactly. You're not going to have time to do that. So, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah. Palmer has higher upside than Roshan right now. And CJ Stroud, Elijah Mitchell is not even a question.
Just Dre said, I'm picking up Zeke off waivers after he got way more volume against the Jets. Do you think a revenge game is due versus Dallas? He's not a must start, but he might something. I mean,
yeah, Zeke is fine to pick up off waivers. He's a running back. If anything happens to Ramondre, like we've been saying, Zeke is valuable, and we said he would be fairly valuable at the goal line, and that's pretty much, I don't think there's any harm in picking him up. He's a touchdown dependent goal line back, but there is some value there for sure. Mm-hmm. Pick him up. I don't know what your other options are, but I would imagine you have better options currently. So
yeah, I'm okay to pick him up, but yeah, I'm not really like XP. You're not really going to play him unless you absolutely have to. So Puka or Tank?
Ooh. God damn, Ace, that's a fantastic question.
Is it?
Fuck yeah, it is.
It is.
Hard
to not go with Puka because he really does have that wide receiver one upside. And we don't know what's going to happen with Cup, or even if he does come back, is Puka then reduced to Tank Dell production? Like,
I'm going with Tank. I'm going with Tank Dell here, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Puka gets the volume, yes, especially in PPR, he's going to be good. But Tank has the higher upside, touchdowns, long plays. He does. Give me Tank Dell here.
I mean, Puka doesn't even need touchdowns to be a top 3 wide receiver. That's the.
I understand. Give me Tank Dell here.
I guess I can feel you a little bit, but I'm still going Puka, but that's a tough one, man. Simp said Bijan, James Cook, Madison, and Monty are my running backs.
The first two are good.
Bijan, Cook, Madison. Yeah, I mean you got running backs, so yeah. I mean, if you got to let go of some to make room for some wide receivers and whoever else you want to pick up, then that's fine. Trade B-Rob for Tank Dell.
I'm inclined to say yes, but with Gibby being in the absolute doghouse, I think B-Rob is in for additional work. It was a tough game against the Bills. Who does he have coming up? At Philly. Not in love with his prospects at Philly. Yeah, give me some Tank Dell here. Are you in need of wide receiver help? Like how?
Yeah, I'm fine coming off of B-Rob for Tank Dell.
Yeah,
B-Rob, he's a solid RB2, but Jonathan, what's good, Jonathan? Dynasty team building for the future. Okay, 1 QB. You traded Herbert, Higgins, and Kittle for Fields, Garrett Wilson, Laporta, and a third. Already have 2024 first. Was a wise move considering my team is far from ready. Jonathan, if you can just put how many starters, I know you said it's 1 QB, but how many starters is it on offense? Don't count defense or kicker or anything like that, but just on offense altogether, QB, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and flex. What's the starters altogether? So we traded away Herbert, we traded away Higgins, and we traded away Kittle for Fields, Garrett Wilson, and Laporta. I don't like it, but I'm going to tell you why I don't like it. All right, hold on. Here we go. 4 flexes, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, a tight end. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the QB. So okay, so it's like start 10. So it's a little bit deep. Okay, let me go back to this trade real quick.
I was keeping Herbert by any means necessary. Higgins, I'm okay with. Kittle, I'm okay with coming off of, for that. I do love the Laporta pickup, but I don't think it was worth Herbert and Higgins. Kittle, I'm fine moving off of. I would have kept Herbert because that is and it's a 1 quarterback, but he's that dude.
Yeah, so especially in the 1 quarterback. If you can have one of those top 5-ish QBs like that, at least gives you an advantage over half of the league. We know who Herbert is. We know he's going to be good.
2/3 of the league
for a very long time. When you're talking about Higgins, like I'm okay with coming off of Higgins, but I probably would have, if you're going for the future, maybe I would have down tier, from Higgins to, something else and a first, tier down at wide receiver. Right, so you can pick up the extra asset on top of it.
Maybe a Zay Flowers. I would have liked a Zay Flowers pickup there. Would have been nice.
If you could, maybe you can get Flowers in a second for Higgins. I don't think you can get it first, but that's fine. It's a tier down. You pick up an extra asset, right? But it is 1 QB, so the picks aren't as valuable as sometimes as you'd like them to be. You've got George Kittle. I'm okay, of course, with getting rid of him. I would recommend getting away from him, but you got Wilson and you got Laporta, so I mean that's good things. You didn't totally drain your assets and make a horrible trade. I would have preferred to keep Herbert and Higgins because those guys you can build around. Even in the rebuild, you can hold on to those guys because you say you got 224 first, so you'd be able to hold on to those guys and then add to that. So that's all I think I would say about that. Is kind of my thought process in that sense. Is I would probably rather hold on to Herbert and Higgins instead of going to get Fields and Garrett Wilson. I mean, Garrett Wilson's great. He's going to be fine. Laporta's awesome. He's going to be awesome. So, nothing to take away from those guys. But you didn't botch it. You're fine. I just would have rather kept the guys that I wanted, that I had. What do you think, Hammer?
Yeah, like I said, the only thing I wouldn't have done is moved off of Herbert.
Yeah.
Because of exactly what you said, because he gives you an advantage over not only half the league, virtually 2/3 of the league, right? Unless you're Mahomes or Burrow at this point, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, you could throw in there as well. So, yeah, I I would have kept Herbert, but listen, moving off of Higgins and Kittle, I'm good with picking up Garrett Wilson and Laporta, who I'm obviously high on. I'm cool with that. The 224 firsts are good. I would have even tried and pushed it for more, right? If you're giving up Herbert and Higgins, maybe try to push an extra, maybe a second round pick.
Where are those first projected to be? Because I would say this: can you pay Fields and one of those first and go get a Joe Burrow that's not producing right now?
Yeah,
right. I mean, I know it's one QB, so it might be a little bit harder to get some guys, but maybe not. But maybe not
for sure.
Because especially if you're rebuilding, like what I really want to do is establish my QB, and I know it's one QB, but unless you're going harder at all the other positions and you can have a middle league QB, like if I can have a QB that's helping me, that's helping me win for, more than half the league, then, I'd love to have that. So I don't think it's bad at all. You got Garrett Wilson in there. Can you tear down from Garrett Wilson even? I mean, his value is still crazy high, but not bad, Jonathan. You still got you have good assets that you got out of it, so you just got to see where these picks wind up. And as you get closer to the season, they'll be more valuable, right? Those picks gain more value, so you can always move those for players. You don't necessarily have to make the picks, but you at least have some leverage. So you still got a lot that you can do. So not bad, Jonathan. Not bad at all. Ace said he thinks he's going Tank. Do you think Tank and Puka's volume will stay the same throughout the rest of the season?
Well, you can kind of make the case for both, right? Because Tank is playing with Nico. He's playing, obviously, to a lesser degree with Robert Woods. But Puka's volume is going to, be determined when Cooper Kupp comes back. Now, I think Puka could still see a healthy 8-ish targets a game, which should be good. So that remains to be seen. I think Puka's volume will take a little bit of a hit if and when Cooper Kupp comes back. I think Tank Dell is probably in that 6-ish target range. So it's tough, but man, CJ Stroud is slinging it all over the field. So
for sure. Jonathan said might be worth a shot. Good point. Yeah, man, you've always got, things that you can do. I've said earlier, I mean, I recently traded Waddle in 2 leagues for Godwin in the first and Pittman in the first. Give me the first. Now I can do whatever with Godwin, whatever with Pittman, but I got the first on top of it. I got the extra asset, and now I can make moves to make my team better. So I will just say, don't just get stuck on players, just play the game, play the market. And like I said, maybe you can go and try and get one of these QBs. Somebody likes Fields. Somebody loves Fields in your league. You just got to find that person. Madden said thoughts and value on Musgrave and Tank Dell in Dynasty. Oh, my bad, Ace. I'll get you in a second.
Yeah, we talked about Musgrave a lot as well. He was on your waiver wire pickup video, so go check that out if you haven't. But yeah, Musgrave is a good upside play, a fill-in starter right now. I don't think he's necessarily a top 12 guy at this particular point. But I think Tank Dell obviously has the higher ceiling for his position over Musgrave. But yeah, these guys are good young rookie players that have good upside on surprisingly good teams, surprisingly good offenses, I should say, with the way they're operating.
Yeah. I mean, Musgrave, they're both pretty much worth second-round picks. I mean, Musgrave is a tight end, so, he's not as valuable, of course, but people are going to love, Tank Dell right now. So, depending what your situation is on your team, I mean, could depend on what you want to do there, but Tank Dell is looking pretty good so far. He's probably worth like an early second at this point. So yeah, you can hold on to Dell. My thoughts were that he can be a wide receiver 2, pretty much at his peak. It looks like that's kind of what he's doing right now. So he's in pretty much like wide receiver 3 range at the moment. Miss your thoughts on your take on the Falcons getting Caleb. I think we said that because that team is actually still pretty good, it might be hard for them to get a top pick in order for them to get Caleb.
Especially with the way the Bears look. You know, a couple other teams out there, not that great. The Jets.
Blake, what up, Blake? Prioritize A-Chain or Palmer off the waiver wire.
What do you need more? If you don't need anything specifically, I would prioritize Palmer.
Yeah.
I think if you have Mostert, you grab A-Chain.
Or you pick up A-Chain and then you trade him. Somebody's going to be wanting him bad.
True.
For sure. I say A-Chain, Blake, or QJ will take Williams as targets. Yeah, I think we were kind of both of us were in agreement that, right now it's going to be Palmer, but over the course of the season, QJ is going to start to, take away and be more involved.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point that you make with A-Chain, where you can pick him off waivers and trade him before Sunday. Especially maybe even to the Mostert owner, right? That may say, hey, listen, Mostert's older, is a potential handcuff. So, yeah, there's some value there.
Yeah. Tank or Evans or A-Chain at the flat. Mike Evans?
Mike Evans. Yeah,
gotta be Mike Evans now.
It's Mike Evans.
Tank would be a close second.
I do like Tank, but it's Mike Evans.
Yeah. The A-Chain, you could if Ahmed misses the game again, I mean, you could probably fire up A-Chain and feel pretty happy about it.
Who the Dolphins play this week? Patriots? No, Buffalo, I think.
Is it?
Pretty sure it's Buffalo.
Yeah, it is Buffalo. Appreciate everybody in the chat, guys. Smash that like first. Smash that subscribe if you're new. Appreciate everybody out there. Probably get out of here in the next few minutes. Throw any last questions in the chat. We'll give y'all another minute or two to throw any last second questions out there.
I'm excited for this Thursday matchup. This is a nice test for the Packers, playing Detroit at home off the nice win.
Somebody's got to get to 3-1, right?
You know who it's going to be.
Shut the fuck up. It's going to be the Lions. That's who it's going to be.
It's definitely not the Vikings. That's definitely not the Vikings.
St. Brown's going for about $130.
That's fine.
Gibbs is going to have his coming out party.
That's fine as well.
Love is going to shit the bed.
Glad you think so. Number 5 quarterback, baby.
I don't know. I mean, somebody's got to get to 3-1, so somebody's going to lose. Should be a good game, though.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
A good game for sure.
Oh, I do have some breaking news.
Breaking news. What we got?
I have the Jordan Love jersey has been officially ordered.
Bro, nobody cares about the Jordan Love jersey.
Oh, yes, they do. And they will. And I told you at the beginning of the season, don't sleep on my guy.
Bruh. All right, y'all. We're about to get up out of here. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, of course.
Yes, sir.
As always. But we will we'll see y'all on the next one. I'll probably be on tomorrow night on our channel. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Shit, we out there. I don't know if I'll be on Thursday, actually. That's the game night. We'll see. But appreciate y'all. We out.
You ready, Jerry?
I'm ready.
Just want to make sure you're ready, brother. Show me the money.
Oh, you didn't know?
Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling.
Put my shoes on, you wouldn't last a mile.
Summertime, wintertime, on the grind. Yeah, I got the ring, I'm the champ, I'm the genie of the lamp.
This is the gift I was given, so I just live by my hustle.
Pocket, it don't make sense, but don't make a profit. So I hustle, ladies and homies. Make money, money.